Today we're going to discuss how to tackle those habits. Now, many people have acquired bad nutritional habits and they practice these every single day. And these habits are things like skipping breakfast or any kind of meal. Perhaps you're skipping meals throughout the week, snacking on bad energy dense foods in between meals. They're not nutritional at all. Drinking too much coffee instead of actually drinking water, and maybe you're using coffee as a substitute for food, adding sugar to your drinks or snacks, and buying in takeaways rather than home cooking, not being prepared for those busy days. You might be in a bad habit of drinking too much alcohol. It's detrimental to most people's goals. Staying up late, and this can cause late night binge eating, but also tiredness the next day, which makes us go for those higher carb instant energy foods. And the list really goes on. Many more bad habits that a lot of people tend to have. So as you can see, in order to reach your goal, it's not just a case of counting calories and food logging. It's actually about breaking and improving those habits. So by changing your daily bad habits for improved and healthier ones, achieving your goal becomes easier because it becomes part of your routine. It's your lifestyle, and that's what we want. We don't want a quick fix. We want a lifestyle. So from my experience, there's a number of good habits that most people could do with forming and adhering to every single day, right? And these habits, in terms of your food and your nutrition, if you think about these habits as just guidelines to help you achieve your goal and stay focused and on track, then these guidelines become extremely effective in getting to your goal. So do not underestimate the effectiveness of the basics, especially when they're completed consistently. And I've seen many clients achieve incredible results just by following this kind of habit program. So we'll do step-by-step guides. So first, step one is we want to do one habit at a time and decide if you want to implement a new habit or we're simply trying to eradicate a bad one. Now, for all of these, I'm going to use switching coffee to green tea as one. So we're going to choose one habit and we're going to personalize it. So perhaps you're on 3 to 4 cups of coffee a day. Well, let's start with 2. Let's start switching 2 cups of coffee for green tea, and you can have 2 normal cups of coffee. So we've personalized it for you. Really, you do that for 14 days. So we want to be changing a habit every 14 days, and that might just be switching up that habit, right? Just a little bit so that it's a work in progress. So step 3 is that 14-day habit challenge. Every 14 days, you should change the habit, little or small changes. So the habits you are creating, we are building upon one after the other so that this process will lead to big results. Now, once you've nailed one habit, you can move on to another. Step 4 is aiming for 6 out of 7 days a week in terms of achieving your habit. So achieve that habit you've set for 6 days out of 7 and give yourself some flexibility every single week to have a bit of time off. If we want to have that additional cup of coffee, we're having 3 instead of 4. So habit-based coaching is about momentum. It's not about perfection. Consistency, right? So step number 5 is a weekly habit review. So I've switched 2 cups of coffee for 2 cups of green tea. I'm going to conduct a weekly habit review. So the goal here is to reflect on the past week about doing the habit. So some key questions to ask are, what's it actually been like? Did I have any side effects? What have I learned about myself? Have I got a physical need for that coffee or a mental need? What did I appreciate most about switching to green tea? What obstacles did I come up again? And are there ways to overcome those obstacles for the next week? And after you do that weekly assessment, step number 6 is weekly habit adjustment. So if all went well the week before, so I absolutely nailed switching those 2 coffees for green teas, I'm going to lengthen my habit. Now I'm going to add in 3 green teas and 1 coffee. But if you struggled, you can keep it the same as last week, or maybe you want to make it a little bit easier. Never make too big of an adjustment so that it becomes too difficult. This will honestly, in the end, slow your change process. Just expand the habit a little and a little over time. And this will help you overcome the resistance of the mind to change and that discomfort, right? And gradually that new habit becomes your new normal. And you can expand a bit more. Maybe you're switching into new habits. You've nailed the coffee and now you're going on to that afternoon snack. Push your comfort zone a little at a time. We don't want big steps because we'll only come back. So this week, I want you to pick one habit that you need to work on and switch it for a good habit. Start off small, okay? So especially if you know you have little willpower. So it could be something like switching your afternoon snack for a healthier version. It could be something like having a small breakfast if you skip breakfast and you don't eat until late in the day. Just really think about what would you like to improve in your day-to-day life? And when you think about what you would like to improve, think about how it will benefit you, your body, your mind, your overall well-being. Because there has to be a purpose and a feeling and emotional attachment behind wanting to eradicate this habit or install new ones. So installing a new habit could be just making sure you're meeting your 3 exercise classes per week. And every single week you might think, well, I could do a bit more. I could add in some more recovery. Maybe I could add in another class, right? So we're just working in small increments of change throughout time so that it feels less painful. And over the course of time, we're actually creating brand new routines. And these become habits and behaviors, but they remain positive. And this is what having a new lifestyle and setting yourself up with this new lifestyle program is all about. Check out the resource page. And if you have any questions, obviously do contact us. That's the end of this coaching.